key with me is no one will outwork me. No one I love. And I respect you guys. Mother, there's one that work, man. I'll search with this. 2 hands. Another work. She cannot erase the work ethic. Park, there is no getting around. Ain't no elevator to the top. You've got to take the stands. The elevator don't go to the top. Man, not in the world of success. You got to take the stand. Y'all got to start getting gritty, man. I hate it when I see young people wasting their time, wasting all this technology. Guy just sitting around in this world that's been created for you, that everything is instant. But if you can combine your technology with your parents' and your grandparents' work ethic, you can be rich. Just ask yourself this way. Do people know you for your work ethic? People like me, you will apart the people actually commenting about you showing up early. It's family. Because if they're not, you're just blending in with everybody else is working. At the end of the day, talent will not win the game. It is work ethic that will win the game. You gotta get really bad. You gotta develop some dog in you. You gotta get messed up sometime. You gotta get dirty. You gotta get your feelings right. You gotta give disappointed. You gotta get told no. But in order to get the life of convenience, you gotta have a very comfortable life. You've gotta get comfortable being uncomfortable. And you're always gonna have haters. And haters like, well, man, how much are you gonna do? Like you do a lot. Let's say yes. It's my ambition, of course, that work. Every day doesn't end. Someone goes bad, that goes sideways. Or coming through this injury, or people are you writing you off. It should drive you. If you're gonna get it, you have to add it, dog. You got opportunity, so here's the deal. When you have an opportunity, why would you get 80%, 70%? Why wouldn't you always give 120% from today on? You play whatever you play that level in every single time. Every time you practice, you don't care what the circumstances, what the situation is. Every single time you give it 120%. It doesn't mean you're gonna score every time, but you can always do 120% effort. Life is a war, and there are people out there, and there are things out there that are trying to take you down. Things are gonna go wrong. And when things go wrong, it's pretty easy just to say, you know what? I'm gonna stand down, I'm gonna give up. And you can do that. But I think no. I think keep fighting, and you keep fighting, and you keep fighting, and you keep fighting, no matter what, and you never quit. And if you do, you like your life is in a place where you can't get any lower, and you don't think you can find any way out. Good, because that means the ultimate challenge is ahead of you. It means you can only go up. And it also means that things are gonna be tough. Things are gonna be tougher than anything you can imagine. But that storm that you're in from your perspective, it seems like that storm is enveloping the whole world. But I'm telling you, it is not the storm that you're in. It is hard to see out of that storm. It's hard to see past it. It seems like the sun is everything, but the storm is not everything, and it won't last forever. You can get out of the storm, and you will get out of the storm. And when you get out, you're gonna see the sun, okay? Now you're being tried, you're being forged, you're being tested by fire and by pain. That's the test. Don't fail. The test. Don't fail. The test. Don't give in. Don't quit. Don't ever quit. Fight on fight through the storm. Fight through the pain and come out the other side, stronger and tougher. A fighter, a survivor, a winner. Victorious from that show. 3 Darkness. But you know what? Life that in the... To look back, it's hell. Yes, I do it. I want to encourage somebody out there who's thinking about quitting, giving up, somebody who has been praying for years for things to turn around. You're thinking about quitting. You're thinking about giving up. You are folding. You are caving in. This is for you during this storm, and you're down on your knees, and you're cold, and you're weak, and you feel like this is the end. You have a choice to either give up or keep going. Give up, get up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Stay in it. Stay focused when you fail. Try again and again and again. You just take one step at a time. It's hard, but it's worth fighting. It's worth believing. It's worth mustering yourself up. Standing up inside yourself. It's worth fighting relentlessly. Never giving up. I love the sun, but things don't grow because of the sun. You have to have some rain, and you've got to stop looking at rain in your life as something bad. My greatest moments didn't come from my greatest moments. My playtest moments came from my greatest defeat, because it was doing my defeat that I had to find a way to get back up. You thought for 1 minute that you broke me. You got me twisted. I am not phenomenally steel, but phenomenally well. I will not give up. I will not surrender. I will not quit. Dose down. Don't stop. Don't stop running. To watch your dream. Stay occurs. Stay encouraged. Keep your head up. Stick your chest up. It's me to walk with pride and know if it was easy, everybody would do it. It's not gonna be easy, but we have what it takes. The rep times are going to come, but they have not come to stay. They have come to pass. Don't say I'm having a bad day. Say I'm having the character building day. Don't look at night at darkness. Look at night as a new beginning.
A couple of tools that you want to use for the rest of your life. They affect me, they affect anybody I've ever worked with. And the number one I want to mention to you again tonight or today is primary question. Your primary question, remember, whatever you focus on, you feel. And where focus goes, energy flows. And your old primary question is still in your nervous system because you've used it for decades probably. And that question often presupposes something that's not so great. My original question, as you know, was, how can I make it better? Well, if I felt like something was keeping me from making it better, I didn't have enough time, there weren't the resources, somebody screwed up, it would make me absolutely crazy. And to this day, it still does at times. The way I get my sanity is because I'm aware that's my question. I can say, okay, where is the perfection in this moment? Or how can I appreciate even more of God's perfection in this moment? And I'll go, okay, the second way through this thing's gonna even better than the first one. Or the person wasn't able to do that, but that led to something else. It makes me look for what's good. In other words, a new question should help you see what's right. The challenge, of course, is that most of the time our brains are not designed to make us happy. Our brains are designed to protect us. And our primary question is usually the way to protect ourselves. So if we think something's keeping us from making things better, making everyone happy, whatever your primary question might say or be, if you think something's preventing you from meeting your question, meeting the intent of your question, it's gonna put you in a lousy state. And when you're most angry, most frustrated, most overwhelmed, I can promise you that question is the challenge. So the secret is, if you catch yourself getting hooked, which I'm sure you will when you get home, there'll be new challenges at some point, catch yourself and say, stop for a second. Why am I feeling this? Is this relating to my primary question? And repeat what it is. And then ask yourself the new question and use that as the antidote to get out of it. Especially if you find yourself in a challenge in a relationship. That's an area where it'll get magnified most people right away. Give yourself the gift of doing your new question enough times that it'll start to become the habit instead of the old one. You might want to go on a walk and do an incantation, or go on a jog and do an incantation, but I can't stress enough the value of that. One other piece. Every day, you want to set yourself up for success. And you got to remember, you can have great standards, great values, but really rituals make those results real. So if you want to lose weight and your ritual is to go to Starbucks every morning, it's not going to happen. If you want to have a great relationship and your ritual is to come home and pet the dog before you meet your spouse or your lover, you got a problem, right? You got to change your rituals. So the emotions you wrote down, those 4 power virtues, whether you wrote down, determination or courage or faith or determination or boldness or playfulness or love or faith or whatever, you want to go into those states each day. And that's not what most people do. Successful people do what the failures won't. So I really want to encourage you, ask your primary question. If you run into a challenge, make sure you come up with a new one, the new question, and ask it again, come up with a solution. But most importantly, each day, attach the words I am to love or passion or determination or courage or faith, and maybe do that for a 5-minute walk where you engage that same intensity as you did when you were in this room, helping people to get to the highest level of their own states. Because if you go in those emotional states on a daily basis and you deliberately put yourself in those states physically, and most people don't do that, but if you really do that, it's going to change the story of your life. Remember what the old story was you said your life was? What was the old story? What was the role you were playing? What were you battling with? What emotions were you feeling? And then what's the new story today? What's the story you're now writing, starting now, the new chapter you're writing? Who are you? What's the story going to be about? What are you going to feel? What are you going to create? So I'm just bringing you back to remind you of what you know in your heart. We've covered a lot. Use that primary question to snap out of it, your new one to snap out of the old one. Put yourself in these states each day, and from these states, take an action to make a difference. If you don't already do it, it might be good for you to start doing that hour of power, or it doesn't have to be an hour, it's 15 minutes of fulfillment, and get yourself in the ritual of 5 minutes of gratitude, and then 5 minutes of focused on what you want, 5 minutes of incantations, and then going down some good work. A minute or two for somebody you care about or a stranger, a minute or two of action towards your biggest and most important goal.
Losing control of your own mind puts you in a dark place, affecting many silently like carbon monoxide. Suicide due to mental health issues isn't weakness, it's a cry for help. Even champions suffer silently. I've battled depression for years, contemplating suicide daily. At my lowest, I reached 147 pounds, abusing drugs and alcohol, pushing loved ones away. I almost ended it, driving towards a bridge at 190 miles until a voice stopped me. Now, 2.5 years later, I've made a comeback against all odds. I'm here to show that there's light after darkness. Life isn't always smooth. It's about overcoming hurdles to find ourselves. If I can bounce back, so can you. Every day may not be bright, but the sunshine will return. Thank you for making it through the video. Please like, share, and subscribe.